Info Plus for genuine information.
Namaste and welcome to this special interview on the occasion of 68th Independence Day of Republic of Malta with me, Rebecca Chetri. We also celebrate the 41 years anniversary of the diplomatic relation between Malta and Nepal this year. These two nations, despite their geographical distance, have fostered a strong bond over the years. It is my great pleasure to have with us today His Excellency H.E.Reuben Gauci, the Ambassador of Malta to Nepal. We'll be discussing Malta's journey since independence, the evolution of ties between our two countries, and the shared vision of the future.
Info Plus for genuine information.
Namaste, Excellency, and once again, welcome to Info Plus on Himalaya Television in Nepal. And we have taken an interview with you a month back in New Delhi. And we are so much privileged to have you here this time in Nepal. And I'm so much honored to be invited on the 68th anniversary of Independence Day of Malta and 41 diplomatic relationship between Malta and Nepal. And would you like to reflect something about a visit here in Nepal this time?
First of all, it's the honor of being in Nepal is all mine. This is my third visit to Nepal from India. And whenever I come here, I always learn something new about the country. In fact, on reflecting on this particular visit, I arrived on the 15th of September and I'm leaving today, the 19th. So I managed to see the Indra Jatra festival. I managed to be present in the Constitution Day of Nepal, which is the day when we're taking this interview.
Yes.
We also celebrated for the first time the Independence Day of Malta. Now, Independence Day of Malta comes on the 21st of September. Here in Kathmandu, we celebrated it on the 16th of September. And as you rightly pointed out, this year is the 60th anniversary of the attainment of independence of Malta. Malta attained its independence on the 21st of September 1964. And as it happens, also in September, 25th of September 1983, we began our diplomatic relations. So the reception which we did here in Kathmandu, thanks to our honorary consul here, Mr. Dinesh Resta, was a celebration of both Independence Day of Malta and the diplomatic relations between Malta and Nepal. So what has been achieved in this 5-day visit here, I believe, was, and I got to meet the media as well, as you've seen just before this interview. Yes. We also got to meet businessmen. I also met the Minister for Foreign Affairs of Nepal, the Foreign Secretary of Foreign Affairs of Nepal, the Vice President of Nepal, who also attended, graced our reception on the 16th of September. And I also got to participate in receptions in line with the Constitution Day and also with the Indra Jatra festival. So this visit was really very, very productive, and I am extremely satisfied.
Since I also got an opportunity to witness the 68th anniversary of Independence Day of Malta and also the 41 bilateral relationship between Malta and Nepal. So do we have any future plans in coming days between Malta and Nepal?
Well, every time I visit this country from India, I travel from India to Nepal, always something happens. The first time I visited was in October 21 to present credentials. October 2022. So in October 2021, I presented credentials. In October 2022, we reopened the VFS office, which opened the door for possibilities of Nepalese citizens to apply for Maltese visa. So always something happens. This was a show of keen interest in Nepal, in the sense that we've set up a reception here of our National Day for the first time in our 41st anniversary of in our 41st years, 41 years of diplomatic relations. Was for the first time. We had business people who came, media people who came, diplomats who came, and also Nepalese politicians who came. And I found the meeting with the business people of Nepal, who are both interested in possibly importing Nepalese products, Maltese products to Nepal, and exporting Nepalese products to Malta, quite how can I put it, encouraging.
How do you think we can promote trade and business between two countries?
Well, with visits like this, from my end, as I said, always something happens. But finally, then trade has to be done by the trade people, by the business people, etc. So it is very important to get them interested. But finally, it's in their hands. So it is important to keep coming here to Nepal. Also, with today's technology, one can have online meetings and emails, etc., etc. So one can be present even if you're not present physically. And that obviously helps, because the more interest is shown by the High Commission of Malta in Delhi, which covers Nepal, amongst other countries, the more interest the High Commission shows, the more business people will feel comfortable to take the risk or take the step forward in possibly importing from Malta, exporting to Malta, investing in Malta, creating partnerships, etc., etc. So by being ever more present and by being ever more and by showing ever more interest, that obviously will make our relations, and our trade relations in this case, you mentioned, more possible.
And you've been the High Commissioner and Ambassador of Malta to Nepal. Will you be taking any initiation regarding this matter?
Well, my initiatives are usually by visiting or by being present online or etc. etc. So that's the initiative which I can take as an ambassador of Malta to Nepal, and which I have been taking in the past 3 years since I presented credentials in 2021 here in Nepal for Malta-Nepal relations. So, but then, as I said, eventually it's in the hands of the business people to feel interested enough and to feel comfortable enough in taking the leap forward.
As I mentioned earlier, that you, during a 4 days visit here in Nepal, you were able to witness our biggest festival, Indra Jatra, and also a few festivals here in Nepal. So how did you felt about that?
I was very, very touched by the Indra Jatra. Also because in Malta we have our own festivals, festas we call them. So every village and every town has a festa in Malta. And it usually takes place in summer. So when I saw the energy which people here in Nepal put on the Indra Jatra festival, in a sense it reminded me of the energy which is put by my country people back in Malta and the festas and festivals which we do in Malta. So obviously they're different, but the energy, the passion is similar. So, as I said, I was very, very happy to, thanks to the Nepalese government who hosted us in the palace just in front of the square. We were in a good
square.
Yeah, I was in a very good position to take photos and to enjoy it from from an elevated angle, from an elevated place. So I was very, very happy with that, and all thanks to the protocol of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Nepal and the government of Nepal.
How did you find the people of my country, Nepal?
You know, as I said in my last, in my last interview, anytime I come across a Nepalese person, both in India, here in Nepal, and even in Malta when I visit, I am always touched by the sincerity of Nepalese people. And as I said last time, you know, I really wish that Nepalese people would remain the same in the sense of sincerity, of genuineness, etc., etc. So as I said, I mean, you know, my opinion of Nepalese people is very, very, very high.
Thank you so much for your good words, Your Excellency.
Much.
And since you mentioned that you took your credentials on 2021, what changes did you find between the relationship between Malta and Nepal during your tenure?
Well, I've tried my best as much as I could to make them better. For instance, even before I presented credentials, during COVID, in the beginning of 2021, I was already in India at the time, we gave medical equipment to Nepal. That was before I presented credentials. So I was very proud of that. Then, even after that, like for instance, during my time, we reopened the visa application center here in Kathmandu. So prior to that, during COVID, and even after, sort of after COVID, people had to go, Nepalese people had to go from Nepal to Delhi or to some other. So the fact that the application center was reopened was also something very, very important. Also, during the past 3 years, more Nepalese went to Malta to work. So I would dare say it all started like in the last decade, but especially in the last 3 years, I've noticed that a lot of Nepalese got the work permit to go to Malta and eventually apply for a visa, and those who got the visa went to Malta. So that's also something which I've seen. So yes, I do see changes to the positive side, to the good side from 2021 to date.
I took an interview with you in Delhi a month back at the Malta High Commission.
Yes.
So have you planned to open an embassy here in Nepal?
Well, that would be nice.
Yeah, because most of the countries have their own embassy here in Nepal itself. So since Malta and Nepal has a very close bond since 4 decades. So my question is, why Malta's embassy is not here in Nepal?
Well, that would be a nice thing. Now, to be honest with you, we are a European Union member country. And out of the 27 member states of the European Union, only 3 countries have an embassy here in Nepal at the moment: Germany, France, and Finland.
Yes.
So most of our European Union colleagues, like us, unfortunately, do not have an embassy at the moment in Nepal. And on a personal level, I look forward to having an embassy here. But also, given our size and our how can I put it, funds at the moment, and it's not, it may not come that soon. Also, taking note that even other European Union countries do not at the moment have an embassy in Kathmandu, and like us, they cover Nepal from New Delhi. But yes, I hope that the time will come in the future when there will be an embassy, a Maltese embassy here in Nepal. And also, as you know, Nepal covers Malta from its embassy in London. So we hope that eventually even Nepal would open an embassy in Malta as well. Let's hope for that in the future.
Your Excellency, how do you see the people-to-people connections between Malta and Nepal growing in different areas? We can say in terms of trade, business, education.
Well, you know, I mean, as I said, there are the diaspora, the Nepalese diaspora in Malta has increased substantially. And obviously, with having more Nepalese people in Malta, you expect more products in Malta, etc., to go to Malta and the other way. Now, from the perspective of the Maltese diaspora here in Nepal, I was very honored to meet in person a Maltese lady who is married here in Nepal, who also has a son now here in Nepal. So, as far as I know, it's her, and I think there are maybe some others, but not that much. So there's a big difference. There are much more Nepalese citizens in Malta than Maltese citizens living here. Although, from a tourism perspective, I'm hoping that more Maltese will get interested in Nepal because it's a very interesting country. It offers things which in Malta we don't have, which is mountains.
Sure.
So I know that there are Maltese coming to Nepal for visits, you know, hiking, trekking, etc., and I hope there will be more. So that's the situation at the moment. A large diaspora of Nepalese in Malta, hopefully more Maltese visiting here on tourism, etc. I do not envisage having Maltese coming to work here, because also it's not that easy either so it's much easier for Nepalese citizens to find work in Malta than say for Maltese citizens to find work here in Nepal. So we cannot expect to have as many Maltese workers here in comparison to Nepalese in Malta. But you know, this is the situation. And I hope that there will be more people-to-people's contact, both in a business format, both in a tourism format, both in a friendly format, you know, you name it.
Since Malta and Nepal share 41 years of diplomatic relations, and we have a very good and friendly relations since a long time, isn't it, Your Excellency? Yes. So what has been your priorities during your 4 days visit here in Nepal?
Well, as I said, I had bilateral meetings with the Minister for Foreign Affairs, with the Vice President and with the Foreign Secretary. I had also what we call commercial diplomacy, that is meeting with business people. I also participated in the like Indra Jatra and the celebrations of the Constitution Day. So, and we're talking about 5 days. I think they were full to the brim, let's put it this way. And those were basically my priorities.
What are the key areas of growth and development that Malta has focused during a 4 days visit here in Nepal?
Well, as I said, exploring the possibilities of trade, of increasing trade, imports and exports. At the moment, they are very, almost non-existent. So that was the first the first thing which comes to mind. We also, I believe, need to start working on possible agreements between Malta and Nepal on education, on culture, on technology, etc., etc. So, because obviously through agreements you also influence, through the presence of agreements between both countries and memoranda of understanding between more countries, you influence the possibility of having better trade and better connections.
It was very nice talking to you, Excellency.
Thank you very much.
So much for your time.
It was very nice talking to you again.
Yeah.
And I hope this is not our last interview. With the interest which you've shown in traveling all the way from Nepal to Delhi a month ago or 2 months ago, and also in giving me your time today on the National Day itself for this second interview. I can only be extremely thankful and extremely grateful to your kind self and to Himalayan TV.
Thank you
very much.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Info Plus for genuine information.
As we commemorate the 68th Independence Day of Malta and reflect on 41 years of friendship between Malta and Nepal, it is clear that the bond between our nations has grown stronger with each passing year. We look forward to further enhancing our relationship in the years to come. Thank you, Excellency, for sharing your insight with us today, and to our viewers, thank you for joining us in celebrating this important occasion. Wishing Malta continued prosperity and peace. Namaste.
Info Plus for genuine information.